How many people see two faces? See the two faces? How many people see two faces? How many notice that you can't see the wine glass and the two faces exactly at the same time? Did you notice that? You either can see one or you can see the other, but you can't see both of them exactly at the same time. Your mind is exactly like that. Your mind either can see lack and limitation and poverty and why you don't have what you don't need, what you need, or it can see abundance and the path to get it. You cannot see both at exactly the same time, and you get to choose to direct your mind. That's the good news. Now, your mind cannot think lack and abundance at the same time. Now, we're told not to judge by appearances. To judge something means to believe it, to assume that it is true. But we are told not to believe or judge everything we see. Why? Because it appears before us as an effect. And the only attribute that an effect has is that you give it. Reverend Bonnie says it this way: all events are neutral. Money is an effect. When you concentrate on the effect, you are forgetting the cause. Your ability to change your mind, your ability to use your own consciousness in any way you choose. When you forget the cause, the effect, in this case money, diminishes. When you focus your attention on getting money, you are actually shutting down your supply. There is an old saying that says, money is the root of all evil. Anybody heard that? Guess what? It was misquoted. The real quote says, love of money is the root of all evil. Money is simply the outer symbol of our inner supply. I like what John Price Randolph, he gave money an acronym, and he says money, the M stands for my, the O stands for own, the N stands for natural, the E stands for energy, the Y stands for yield. My own natural energy yield. My means it relates to me, myself, as a possessor of something. Own, it's belonging of oneself. Natural means God-given, and it's normal. It's absolutely normal to be abundant. Energy is the word that was first coined by Aristotle to express the concept of vigor of expression. It says that when we give a spiritual mind treatment, we're supposed to have a vigor of expression, a sense of enthusiasm, a sense of pride, a sense of excitement that absolutely knows with confidence that is going to happen. How many people are currently at that level? It takes practice, doesn't it? It takes a lot of practice. Now, the energy, the spiritual mind treatment, your affirmative prayer must be focused on what you do want to yield. Does anybody in this room focus on what they're upset with? The law says focus on what you do want to yield with enthusiasm, with confidence. The inner presence, the you of you, is truly the money maker. When your mind is on the source, the cause, the God presence within you, the supply flows freely. This is an inside job. This week, I'm going to ask that each of you turn within and watch your inner presence work. What are you manifesting? Law number 4. It is your spiritual consciousness, your knowledge of the presence of God within you as total and complete fulfillment that interprets itself in every form or experience in the world. Jesus said, "Seek first the kingdom of heaven, then all things will be done unto you." Reverend Bonnie says you can only receive that which you can accept. So my question to you is, what are you praying for? What are you treating for? What are you thinking about? And if you're not praying and treating for something, why not? That is where your abundance lies. What do you choose to stay? Why would you choose to stay in the dark ages if you can choose to come into the enlightened time? Now, John Price Randolph, on his book Abundance, basically gave 12 prosperity secrets and I adapted several of those for this service. Number 1 is seek your own counsel. if you're working on abundance from a spiritual mental approach, don't tell anyone that's not on a spiritual path. There's a lot of doubting Thomases, a lot of doubting Thomasinas out there who do not believe that it's an okay thing to use spirituality to manifest abundance. And yet, it is absolutely our divine right to use it. In doing that, we need to make sure that if you do tell someone that is not on a spiritual path, know that you're breaking your connection to your source. You possibly are diminishing your own power by communicating with people that don't believe in the same thing that you do in relationship to using spirituality to create what you want in your life. Number 2 of these 12 is easy does it. Know that you can't make anything happen. You are not the source. The source comes through you. Through your meditation, you are simply releasing the abundance that is already yours. Simply let that substance flow into your visibility. Now, before I started speaking nationally, I had an opportunity to have a spiritual mind treatment with Kathy Ann, and you all remember Kathy Ann. And you know, when she gave a spiritual mind treatment, sometimes she just took this big 2x4 and hit you right over the head. And I remember going in, and I was really scared. And I thought, well, I'd probably get this kind of emotional embrace that, because I was scared. She said, "You make me so mad." She says, "Don't you know that there is a power bigger and stronger than you that's there to help you anytime you want? You know that all you have to do is move your fear over. And if you move your fear over, that spirit can work through you." I didn't know that. Did you know that? And I can remember going into my audition, and I walked in, and I went into the bathroom because I was so scared. I was still scared even after the spiritual mind treatment. And I walked into the bathroom, and I looked in the mirror, and I said, "Okay, God or presence or power or whatever it is that's supposed to be in there, if you're there, I need you now." And I went out, and I gave a really great audition. I didn't even know what an audition was. But I got the job, and I found that the abundance was right there. But I literally had to say, I'm willing to put my fear on hold for 30 minutes. But I was going to collect it at the door. You too have the ability to do that. We love our fear. We're not going to be able to just completely get away from it. So, number 3 in the Prosperity Secrets, it says, when the going gets real good, remember what got you there. Know that you are not doing the work. It is the Spirit that is working through you. You are but a channel of its outpouring. Have you ever noticed that the Academy Awards, the Music Awards, the Emmy Awards, that the people that come up and thank God first or thank their higher power first are the people that show up year after year after year? And then there's the other ones that you don't see very often, and they're the ones that thank their producer. See, we've got a great producer. We've got a completely abundant producer if we will turn our mind into our producer, into that inner channel. Number 4, it says, critical thoughts and feelings of fear will hold back your good, while a consciousness of love and trust will speed up the flow. Each and every soul throughout the universe is a spiritual being, and since I have the recognition and the unification that I was created in the image likeness, the image, if we shorten the word image down, it's I am, or the I am age, and the I am and your I am is the same. No one has greater power than another. So if I criticize you or your I am age or your image, then I am criticizing my own image, my own I am age. And basically what happens is I'm basically criticizing myself. Your faith vibration attracts that which you are focusing on like a magnet. And the important thing is to ask, where's your faith? What are you focusing on? Are you focusing on lack, or are you focusing on abundance? Does everyone now know what to do with their critical thoughts? I've kind of given this in my last sermon. Y'all know what to do with your critical thoughts? You remember what I said on my last sermon? What are you supposed to do with those? Anytime you have a critical thought, you're supposed to give them the finger. Go ahead and just pick your finger up, this one. Give this the finger. Anytime you have a critical thought, and then tap your temple. Everybody, let me just see everybody do this. Tap your temple, and out loud to the person that's sitting next to you, I want you to say, cancel, cancel. Cancel, cancel. Cancel, cancel. Okay, good. Wouldn't want you to forget that, because you can cancel any negative thought that you have. Number 5 is acknowledge the Spirit within as the one source of abundance, the one source of your supply. Look only to God for your prosperity. This is an inside-out job. The higher your consciousness, the greater your abundance of health, wealth, and love. Number 6 is do not outline the way your good is to come to you. It's important to clearly know what you want, but when you set an image so clearly that you only will accept that form, you may miss the real blessings that are about ready to come to you. Number 7 is recognize the abundance is your birthright. Remember that there is nothing that resembles lack, limitation, poverty in the infinite spiritual mind. You consciously choose your abundance, or you aimlessly, unconsciously allow outside circumstances choose for you. Are you exercising your power, or are you allowing someone else to exercise your power for you? Think in the now is number 8. Don't delay your demonstration by saying, someday I'm going to have, someday I'm going to be, someday I'm going to do. Exercise in the now. The infinite mind will give you anything you ask for. If you ask for it in the future, that's where it will be. If you ask for it right now, that's where it will be. The spiritual mind treatment is powerful, present tense, it's enthusiastic, and it must be personal to you. Number 9 is learn the steps of the spiritual mind treatment and begin by using an affirmative prayer. I like that word affirmative because it's not about begging. It's not about pleading and asking for more. It's about affirming what is your natural birthright. Number 10 is to use gratitude and thanksgiving because they are vital ingredients in developing abundance. Nothing taps you into your supply faster than a grateful heart. I'd like you to try something for the next week. I'd like you to bless 7 people. When you first wake up, bless 7 people with something that you personally would like to have in your life. Now, if you're in competition for a job or a sale, bless 7 people with the type of job or that whatever it is that you're trying to create in your life. And in that 7 people, include yourself. Include your competitor. Include your enemy. Because you'll begin to neutralize the negativity and begin to bring the positive to you. Number 11 is spend more time each day thinking about what you do want rather than what you don't want. This basically says that we need to be able to release the good, release the creative flow of good by doing number 12. And number 12 is keep your money circulating. If you were at the sermon that I did in February, Jack and I got up and mentioned that it does take $18 per seat to keep this church running. And I say that only because we need to be able to share with our spiritual source. I wanted to give you a challenge, and on your chair you have a piece of paper if you'd like just to pick that up, and I'll close with that. And the challenge is that sometimes we keep hold of our money, and sometimes we hold on to our money for that rainy day. We're waiting for that rainy day. Well, I suggest that you not wait for that rainy day because it happens to be raining today. But sometimes if we wait for that rainy day, we may end up buying ourselves an ark. Now, rather than buying ourselves an ark, why not look at the fact that Noah was quite abundant? And it did rain for 40 days and 40 nights. And the challenge I'd like to give you is a 40-day prosperity plan. For 40 days and for 40 nights, I'd appreciate if you choose to take the challenge and to see if you can make a difference in your own life, to take this plan. And I copied off a few things for you. This is what I'd like you to do. Number 1 is to establish a specific date to start your program. Now, if today's the day, that means the program will be complete on May 28th. Number 2 is to create a spiritual journal and begin by writing a spiritual mind treatment on the first page of the journal or an affirmative prayer on the first page. You can affirm your health, your wealth, your love, whatever you're trying to create in your life, and the most important thing is to be bold. Ask for what you want. Be bold. Number 3 is to read one of the 10 statements which I have given you every day, which means that you will read each one of the 10 4 times over the 40-day period. Number 4, after reading the daily statement in either morning or afternoon, meditate on it for about 15 minutes with great thoughtfulness and feeling, and allowing the ideas to fill your consciousness. Now, if you don't have time to meditate, you might just do this on the way to work or back. Give yourself a chance to be thinking about it while you're in the car. But do take time to sit down and write your thoughts down. You'll notice that you're integrating on a much deeper level. And number 5, following your meditation period, take a few minutes just to write down in your journal to know you'll start seeing a different level of progress for yourself. The only thing is on this 40-day plan is if you miss one day, you have to start all over. Okay? 40 days. So if you choose to take this challenge, commit to it. If you choose to take on this challenge and do it like sometimes people run their life, well, it's not very convenient today, then don't take it. Just leave it on the chair. It'd be just best to do that. I'm going to leave with one final quote. This was a quote that came from Nadine Starr, and she said, "If I had my life to live over," she said, "I'd dare to make more mistakes next time. I'd relax. I would limber up. I would be sillier than I'd been this trip. I would take fewer things seriously. I would take more chances. I would climb more mountains, swim more rivers. I would eat more ice cream and less beans. I would perhaps have more actual troubles, but I'd have fewer imaginary ones. You see, I'm one of those people who live sensibly and sanely hour after hour, day after day. Oh, I've had my moments, and if I had to do it all over again, I'd have more of them. In fact, I try to have nothing else, just moment one after another, instead of living so many years ahead in each day. I've been one of those persons who never goes anywhere without a thermometer, a hot water bottle, a raincoat, and a parachute. If I had to do it all over again, I would travel lighter than I have. If I had my life to live all over again, I would start barefoot earlier in the spring. I would stay that way later in the fall. I would go to more dances. I would ride more merry-go-rounds, and I would pick more daisies." Nadine was 85 years old. Thank you.